This is a daily Crowdsource. I'm David. I'm speaking with Niel Robertson, founder and CEO of Trada. Niel, thanks for talking with us. Now, we got a question from Twitter from a Vrish88. Wants to know, of the employees at Trada, who internally has been ranked the best optimizer, particularly with their ad groups?
Well, full disclosure, Mike is one of our employees and he's preening his feathers here. So we actually, we deploy a whole lot of what we call crowd mechanics, which is really game mechanics like you would think about on Foursquare, but in a crowd environment. It's something we're doing a lot of invention in. And we very much believe that all of our employees live and breathe crowd mechanics as well, and they participate in our market so they understand the dynamics. So we actually just graded everybody that was working as an optimizer on campaigns. They don't get paid to do so. We just have them work on it to the advertiser's benefit. And Mike, who sent that, got the best grade of everybody. So I'm going to expose him in return, but he beat me out by 0.3% out of 100.
Were you grading just the employees at Trada or all of the optimizers?
One of the things that we are implementing now that we're launching relatively soon is a kind of another layer of crowd mechanics in our marketplace. One of the things is actually a grade, and a grade is really designed to help the paid search expert quickly find parts of their campaign that are performing well and do more with them, or that are underperforming and make changes that they know how to make because they're experts. One of the hardest things in paid search is that you've got a lot of stuff to keep track of. You've got tens of thousands of keywords and hundreds of ads, and maybe you're working on 4 or 5 or 6 campaigns. And the grading system is a mechanism for us to explain to them kind of where to spend their time and energy, both positively and also sort of to clean up things that they could do better at. It's very similar conceptually to Google's quality score, which has been something that's been around in the paid search industry for a long time. We actually have just integrated into a crowd dynamics model, and we're just rolling out grades now, and it's going to be really interesting to see how our market reacts to having quantifying, good or bad, if you will. And obviously people like Mike that do well are going to be very happy to talk about it.
So when are we going to see these grades appear?
We're doing our next release in the next few weeks. So we'll start to launch them into the marketplace very soon.
Excellent. Now, what can you tell me about progressive access? I heard you guys are getting into that.
Sure. I think one of the fundamental tenets of human experience, and this is very common if you see this in World of Warcraft, or going from high school to college, or getting a new title in your job, is having a system kind of running in the background where people know that they're getting better and better. A lot of, like, if you go play Xbox games, a lot of things are about, going from level 5 to level 6, sergeant to general, or, whatever the path may be. We are implementing a very similar thing in the system. And the idea is that you want to progress or achieve levels, and that levels give you more things. In Trada, levels give you a number of things. They give you more access, so you can work on more campaigns. They give you what we call sort of more trust, that, we give you less constraints, less limits. So, for example, on a campaign, sort of depending on the size of the campaign, you may be limited to 1,000 keywords that you can put in on that campaign. But if you're level 4 or 5 in Trada, we take those limits away because we trust that you know what you're doing. So there's very discrete value in going from level to level. It's not just something nominal to make you feel good about yourself.
And where does Trada fall on the expert sourcing versus crowdsourcing?
Sure. So this is an interesting sort of division of crowdsourcing businesses that is emerging, which is, are the people in your marketplace experts or are they amateurs? And sometimes amateurs can produce as great results as experts. Expert sourcing really requires the sort of proprietor of the system, so Trada in this case, to certify people before they get into the system. And we call this really curation. You have to kind of curate your crowd to make sure that it's of a certain quality and professional expertise. Paid search is an activity that requires expertise. It's very easy to spend a lot of money and get no results if you don't know what you're doing. So our marketplace is not one of anybody that wants to give it a try, go for it. For us, that's just a requirement.
And Neil, last question from Twitter. Gab Goldenberg wants to know, ever bid on the keyword Google?
We actually don't allow single keyword bids in our system because it's a great way to spend a lot of money. But I have bid on words like Google AdWords, We actually use those keywords in our own campaign for Trada. When we're looking for customers, we run our own paid search, of course, through our own marketplace. We kind of eat our own dog food, so to speak. And it's actually a great keyword because a lot of people looking for paid search help search on Google AdWords.
Niel, thanks for talking with the Daily Crowdsource.
My pleasure. Thanks, man.